Hello and welcome to Diecast Diaries. I'm Dan, and in my last video I did kind of a big overview of the Corgi Juniors military range as introduced from like the mid-70s through till including the Auto City range the mid-90s. And I did say kind of at the end of that was kind of pretty much it. Certainly it was for the original moulds. But yeah, in 2012 Corgi announced a brand new range of small-scale vehicles. Now these were all totally new moulds. And in various themes, construction, emergency, farm, and thankfully, military. So that's the military range there, a military gift set. Quick look on the back just shows you some of the other ones you can get. So there's the emergency one, there's a farm one, as I say, there was a construction one. I think all vehicles were also available separately. I'm not sure how big of a success this range was for Corgi. I don't really remember seeing these in shops that much. This set I actually got off Amazon, believe it or not. So yeah, so let's take a look. So I'll just pull it out. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is pause the video and return in a second. Oh, glad I did that. They proved to be quite difficult to get out of the packaging. Packaging would have been quite noisy. So what I thought I'd do is, I'll obviously show each of the models individually, but I'm going to kind of do them in reverse order as to which I think is basically from worst to best. So the first one is this one, military helicopter with, I'll just fold the rotors out. Ooh, these are tricky. There we go. So the reason I've kind of put this one in last place, I think it's one of those, it's kind of suffers from, it's a rehash of a model that they've obviously done in other colours. It looks very much like a Eurocopter, sort of EC135, 165, kind of helicopter you see, widely used for police and air ambulance duties. And indeed, there was one in the police gift set. So I think this is very much a case of, oh, we need another vehicle to fill out the military 5-pack. I know, let's repaint the helicopter. Yeah, I think some militaries do use these. I certainly don't think they use them with whopping great missiles on the side like that. So yeah, understandable to see why Corgi included it. You know, a military helicopter is always a good thing to have in a set. In terms of the actual helicopter itself, regardless of its, you know, how appropriate it is, it's not bad. The front end looks quite sort of bubble shape really, but it's not bad really. I think the worst thing is that the missiles just look huge. So yeah, so that's the first one. So that's, for me, that's kind of the least good out of the set. So we'll just pop that over there. The second one, or the kind of the next one down, maybe a surprise really. It's the Challenger 2 tank. Now it's clearly a Challenger 2. It's obviously a current British Army vehicle. So an appropriate vehicle to do, and certainly in the desert camouflage, that's obviously the kind of areas where most of these have kind of done, have seen combat. But for me, it's just, it harks back a little bit to the Corgi Juniors Centurion from the 70s. It's got the, you know, moulded tracks with the sort of wheels underneath. The worst thing again, turret turns of course, but yeah, worst thing again for me is the plastic gun barrel. You know, it being black, it would have been nice for it to have been at least coloured in the same colour as, or a similar colour. You know, with the helicopter, it's mostly die-cast, but part of the tail boom is plastic, and yet, you know, they've managed to get it in a sort of slightly appropriate colour. But yeah, the tank, it's okay. As I say, it's recognisable for what it is. Obviously, you can't really have a military 5-pack without a tank. Appropriate one to choose, but yeah, for me, it's just a little bit too simple, and it's a shame about the gun barrel. But yeah, there you go, Challenger 2. The next two are kind of fairly equal. First one, the boat trailer. I've probably put this one third simply because I think this is another case of, you know, a repaint of an existing one. You know, as I showed you before, it's one that appeared in the emergency set. But at least this one is kind of more appropriate for a military set. You can imagine an assault boat being sort of like that, and it's in obviously an appropriate colour. Boat does come off. Boat is die cast, so it certainly won't float. Got some sort of nice weight to it. Fairly nice detail. That's the underneath. And there's the trailer. Again, pretty basic. The black bit is metal. The rest of it is plastic. But yeah, it's nice enough. And as I say, a bit different as well to sort of get a military boat. You don't often get kind of boats and watercraft and that, so it's a nice one. And of course, to tow it is my second favourite vehicle, the Land Rover. Now, you can't have, again, it's a bit like the Jeep. In the case of the British Army, you can't have a set without a Land Rover. And this is a totally new Land Rover that Corgi introduced. Obviously, the current one being the Defender. It's obviously a Defender 110. Again, nice sort of desert colour scheme. Yeah, I don't think the top does come off. No, it doesn't. Now, this obviously was another one that was repurposed for other sets. So you can see there's like a double cab pickup version for the farm set. So it will have been basically the same vehicle, but just with different kind of top spot on it. But yeah, nice, classic British Army Land Rover in desert camouflage. And just hitch it up to the boat trailer. There we go. And they look pretty good together. So yeah, that's my second favourite. And then by far the best, and I think worth getting a set just for this, is this one. It's the Jackal. It's kind of like an armed reconnaissance and scouting vehicle. Another one that's seen a lot of combat use certainly in Afghanistan. I'm not sure about Iraq, but yeah, certainly Afghanistan, they will have used these a lot. High mobility, all-terrain, kind of vehicle, and really nice detailed, and an unusual one to kind of do, because this isn't another one, a bit like the Challenger. There's no way they can do another version of this for another set. You can only do a military version. And it must have been, it's a fairly tricky vehicle to do. The sandy coloured bits are all metal, and then you've got the black plastic bits like the roll cage. What looks like to me a grenade launcher, although these are also armed with 50 cal. But yeah, it looks like a grenade launcher to me. And then you've got jerry cans in the back and a couple of other little bits. There we go. But yeah, I just think what a really unusual vehicle for Corgi to do. And also, a current use vehicle, unusual one, and really nicely done. I think although these are clearly meant as toys, it's not bad at all. And let's face it, where else are you going to get a diecast model of a Jackal? So yeah, so there we go. So that's the Corgi. That's the new sort of Corgi range from 2012. As I say, I'm not sure how long these lasted. They do crop up on eBay from time to time. As I say, I got this particular set off Amazon. Now, I have actually seen a poster that shows all of the individual vehicles from all the different ranges they did as part of this new range of vehicles. And there were two other military vehicles that they did, but ones that, one, I have seen it on eBay once, but wasn't able to get it. The second one, I've not been able to see whether it was ever actually released. The two repaints, basically, and one of them is the Scania fire engine. That's the one that I've not been able to actually see whether it was actually released or not. They obviously did a civilian version of it, but yeah, again, they're in the same sort of sandy colour as these. But yeah, on the sort of poster, if you like, there was that in military colours. And then the other one was basically a Scania box truck, so it got the same cab and chassis, but with like just sort of rectangular, sort of cube-shaped, sort of boxy structure on the back. Now that one I have seen sold separately. Unfortunately, just not been able to pick one up. But apart from that, I think that is it. But yeah, not a bad little set. And this was, as I say, I got it off Amazon, I think a year or so ago. It wasn't expensive. I think it was not much more than a tenner. As I say, helicopter's not great. Challenger, okay. The Land Rover and boat trailer, all right. But yeah, worth getting for the Jackal. So yeah, so there we go. So that is the Corgi toys. I think they were called Built to Last. It's not much of a sort of range name for a range, is it? I think it was Corgi toys Built to Last is what they seem to have been. Yeah, there we go. And if you're interested in the numbers, there you go. They're the individual. And you can see, so it was a fairly extensive range that they did. But yeah, so there we go. It's worth mentioning there was also like a play set that they did for the military range, kind of like a sort of play mat. There was a couple of buildings on it. One that looked a bit like a Nissan hut, but I think it was supposed to be like a little hangar. I can't remember off the top of my head which vehicles you got with it. I think possibly it was the Land Rover and the Challenger. Certainly they'd be the two, I suppose, most appropriate vehicles. But yeah, I assume they did the same sort of themed play sets for the other ranges, the emergency one, etc. But yeah, not one that obviously it was released. It's not something I'm really that interested in picking up. It's not like you get an exclusive vehicle with it or anything. So So yeah, so as I say, yeah, that's the 2012 Corgi Toys Built to Last military range. So if you like what you've seen in this video, and obviously in my previous one, then please do like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you very soon. Cheers, bye bye.